Robocop is back. I didn't even know he was coming, but he's here now, so I made the most of it. Completing Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. What a mouthful. Took me about 12 hours, and I must say, maybe Robocop returned a bit too soon. Overall, I'd rate this game as not a must. I don't even know how better to describe my feelings. The game just left me a bit lost for words. Lots of okay stuff and then some cool moments, but overall this game had less of an impact on me than the first one. Before we get into the details, let me say this. I loved the first game. Robocop Rogue City is a title I believe anyone who loved the original 80s movie will really appreciate. It perfectly captures that gritty, dystopian vibe and transports you straight back into that world. The sequel, however, feels more like an oversized DLC than a true standalone title. It comes across as a very unpolished extra chapter, rather than a game that wants to carve out its own identity. Right from the start, I felt thrown straight into the action with little context or build-up. For most of the game, I wasn't entirely sure why I was doing what I was doing. Only in the last third did the story start making sense to me. And it was absolutely shocking, as in terrifying, when I realized what was going on. A massive corporation scamming the public and installing automated mass destruction systems to silence anyone who speaks up. Not criminals, but just regular people. It's disturbing. The crazy part is that Robocop isn't even there to help the people. It's just a side story that explains why the world is so messed up. The main villain doesn't even seem to be connected. He is though, but it's not obvious. And I don't think killing him will change anything for the screwed over people. It was also very anticlimactic, that whole boss sequence. It wasn't a boss battle, it was more like a long build-up to, frankly, nothing. If you're someone who understands this plot better than I do, please explain it to me in the comments. I probably missed something. What bothered me the most during my playthrough were the severe performance issues. I experienced massive FPS drops, even after lowering all my settings. The only way to make the game somewhat playable was by capping the FPS to 60. And even then, it sometimes dipped to 10 FPS. I've never had such extreme problems with a game before. A lot of time has passed, so all this should be fixed by now. Fingers crossed. By the way, the audio and camera quirks from the first game return. Robocop's voice is loud and clear, but NPCs are barely audible, and the close-up headshots during conversations feel oddly framed.
He's a good guy who deserves peace.
The Robocop Rogue City games stand out because of how perfectly they capture the Robocop feel. Every heavy metallic step, the lack of cover mechanics, and the classic theme blasting while you mow down enemies make you feel like the unstoppable Tin Man you steer. Since Robocop can't even crouch, his abilities make combat more dynamic. Just like in the first title, you have bullet time for precision, an invincibility shield to be able to stand your ground, a shockwave for crowd control, and a dash to quickly reposition. Healing is handled through energy charges you can pick up and use anytime, just like medkits, plus occasional recharge stations on the map. Rather Half-Life-esque. Much better than these modern auto-heal systems, if you ask me. Unfinished Business adds a few new tricks, like the ricochet mechanic for shooting enemies behind cover, brutal environmental takedowns, and the ability to throw objects for instant kills. It's all fun, if a bit unpolished at times. Most enemies are human thugs, often armored, but you'll also face some new ones like drones, rolling mines, and even flying enemies later on. How did the first game hit so hard while the sequel feels so mediocre? I think I know why. Robocop Rogue City is more about conversations, policing, light investigation, and occasional combat. It all flowed really well. Unfinished Business, however, throws you straight into the firefights with barely any context or tutorial, as if assuming you played the first game. NPC interactions only appear later and don't seem so important at all, while investigation elements feel bolted on rather than integrated. I do appreciate moments where the game forces you to change playstyle, like losing your unlimited ammo and being forced to use whatever the enemy drops. But a massive bug in my playthrough prevented me from picking up other weapons after the first weapon I grabbed. Meaning, when I ran out of ammo and enemies didn't drop the exact same weapon, I was helpless against armored foes that can't get killed with melee. Even rebooting the game didn't fix it. I resorted to throwing park benches at them. It wouldn't be a Robocop game if you didn't have to make judgment calls. Issue a ticket or give a warning, tell the truth or a white lie, it's up to you. These choices don't impact the story in any meaningful way, they're more about flavor than consequence. You'll simply meet these characters again later and see how your decisions played out, nothing deep-rooted. I enjoyed the new puzzles that pop up every now and then. They're simple but fun and add a nice break from the constant shooting. The upgrade system is copy-pasta from the first game. It's still rather old school, which I appreciate. A menu with 7 categories, each up to 9 points to boost survivability and skills, with milestone perks unlocking along the way. Your iconic Auto 9 can also be customized via circuit boards and connectors found on the map. These let you tweak fire modes, add armor-piercing rounds, boost damage, reduce reloading times, or even enable more gore. Only one board can be active at a time, so you'll need to prioritize rather than stack every upgrade. I still can't decide if that's sad. You briefly get to play as other characters from both the good and the less good sides. For me, these segments were more atmospheric than essential. The only part I wouldn't miss is the Ed 209 gameplay. It's just cool. What can I say? Here's what I'd do. Start with the first Robocop Rogue City. It's absolutely worth your time despite minor quirks like odd camera angles and uneven audio. If you love the 80s movie, you'll enjoy this one. As for the sequel, Unfinished Business, it's fine if you want more Robocop action, but it doesn't leave the same mark. It feels like more of the same, with added performance issues and bugs, hopefully patched by now. That's it from my side. Got thoughts or answers? Drop them in the comments. I'm curious what your Robocop experience is like. And feel free to come by when I'm live on Kick or right here on YouTube. I'm around most days. Until then, it's your move, creep! Bye-sies! Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god! They're so fucking sneaky! I got adrenaline rush and everything from that. Fuck yeah!